So, hi Mehak, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for being here today and representing the University of Edinburgh. So, in this video, we're going to talk about Mehak's background, then what it's like to study at University of Edinburgh, her timetable, her course, and why did she choose Scotland over England? So I think that's an important question that everybody might be, wondering about. So, if you want to study this course or study at any other university in UK, please do check out my description box where I've linked all the videos. So without further ado, let us begin. So hi Mehak, welcome to my YouTube channel.
Hey Devyani, thank you for having me.
So firstly, thank you so much for being here and sharing your experience with all of us. So can I please formally ask you to introduce yourself again, your full name, what are you studying exactly, and again at which university?
Absolutely. Hi everyone. I'm Mehak Chopra. I'm doing my master's in marketing at the University of Edinburgh. My background is from English literature, and I came in this September.
Mhm.
And I think, yeah, that is about
September 2023, you moved here, so still quite new to the UK, is it?
it.
So tell me a bit about your background. You mentioned you studied literature, but like where did you study it from? Like which university and some a bit about your bachelor's degree in general?
Right. I have jumped and changed my career like multiple times now. I was a PCM student in my high school, and then even though I prepared and like gave a lot of BBA exams, COVID hit literally the very next day of my last board exam. All the plans had to be changed, and I had to take my last option, which was English honors. And I was in a private university in Delhi. And then I think like first 2 years of my career in English literature, I wasn't really doing anything and I wanted to like look for more things. I was working as a freelance content writer, but I don't know, something was not clicking. So I started speaking to like a lot of counselors to understand what my options would be. And time and again, UK would pop up for, like everyone said that I'd be good at marketing. So I started doing more courses on marketing to understand if this is a subject that I
Mm-hmm.
like, or do I like studying it as well? Like, do I like the theoreticals or the practicals? So I did more courses on it and then I started applying. So, yeah, that is pretty much about my background. I mean, should I
Mm-hmm.
continue with my
No,
journey
no,
then?
no. But I have
Mhm.
a follow-up question for that. So you mentioned like, some people told you that, you should start marketing and things like that. So like in terms of courses, like what courses did you do? Did you do any internships in marketing before or how was that?
Okay. So I did a bunch of courses from Google. So I think the Google Fundamentals course is a
Mm-hmm.
good one for digital marketing.
Right.
But again, like I don't know if digital marketing was something that I want to go into. Again, it's like a very new and upcoming field, and like many universities in the UK are offering masters in that specifically as well. But yeah, so I did courses from Coursera as well on
Mm-hmm.
branding, personal branding, and stuff
Mm-hmm.
to understand more. And again, like I didn't have to pay for any of the courses. I just applied for scholarships. So,
Mm-hmm.
which is like again a good idea if anyone wants to do that. You can just like study for free from such high universities as well.
Okay. So you just go on Coursera and apply for a scholarship?
Yep. So I think it takes like around 14 to 15 days. And again, I was working with a firm as their marketing person as well. So it was mostly B2B and like in person below the line. But like doing those marketing courses and like uh, choosing to study marketing or actually studying it over here is very different.
Yeah, definitely. So when you started with your application journey, when you decided to come to the UK, like which universities were you considering in the first place? And then, of course, why did you choose Edinburgh over the others?
Right. So, when I spoke to like a lot of counselors, everyone said, I don't think you will get into the Russell group because, again, like I said, my university was not very well ranked in my undergrad. Again, I was switching careers from English honors to marketing. So, everywhere I went, and I'm not going to take names, but like the big ones would always say that no, you won't get into the tier ones, but you might get into tier two or tier three universities. And what I felt was like if I'm like investing so much, I need to get into the top ones.
Mm-hmm.
And the council that I finally went with, were the ones who motivated me. Should I take the name?
Yeah, definitely, if you're comfortable.
A huge shout out to TFM Narayani and Subodh. I mean, definitely, if anyone's looking to study abroad, you guys should check them out.
Mm-hmm.
They were generally the first one and the most authentic ones that I spoke to, and they believed that I could get into a university of like the top tier. So I didn't want to go to London. I was very clear on that in terms of budgeting as well. I wanted Edinburgh, Warwick, and Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
Warwick being top one.
Mm-hmm.
And I got rejected from Warwick, and the very next day I got into Edinburgh,
Mm-hmm.
so I was fine with it. And yeah, I mean, again, like I think I went with rankings mostly.
Mm-hmm.
I did get into Leeds and Cranfield, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, Edinburgh came out as a winner because of its ranking. And
Mm-hmm.
again, like Edinburgh's a beautiful city to live in.
Most definitely. So, in terms of business school, like of course, Warwick, Manchester, Edinburgh have really good business schools. So, why, like in terms of ranking, also Edinburgh ranks much higher compared to Warwick. So, what do you think in your application in Warwick? What was different, or did you apply like the same way in all universities, or any was like any advice you can give on that?
No, I think the Warwick Business School is great. Obviously, like I mean,
Mm-hmm.
um, I did my applications pretty differently. Actually, I customized my applications according to each university. I read actually a bunch of SOPs before I started writing my own,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I can understand how tedious that task can be.
Mm-hmm.
I think like it's so important to like word it on your own, like in your own
Not
words.
copy.
And exactly. And like customizing it according to those universities, like what can you bring for them? Not and also like equating it with like what are you getting out of them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what it was. Warwick never gave me a reason for rejecting, but I mean again, like I think it's fine, like destiny again.
Yeah, everything works out for the best after all. So another thing like I wanted to ask you is because you come from like a non-marketing background in terms of education. So what did you do in your SOP to justify that okay, you might be a good fit for marketing? Because a lot of people who have like come from kind of like a BBA background, of course, then a bit of psychology, who are kind of connected. Of course, content is a big part of marketing. So did you bank on that, or what was your story?
Okay, so co-curriculars all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Because so I had my own NGO. I was working with more NGOs. I was working with this company. I had done so many courses. So I think all of that, like a sum of it,
Mm-hmm.
helps you overall because UK universities don't just look at your grades. I mean, obviously my grades were okay,
Mm-hmm.
but they also look at how you are as a professional or as a person. If you can take charge again, like if you're able to show leadership skills, that's great.
Okay, so that was somebody who wants to get into Edinburgh as marketing, like you would say, like work a bit about on extracurriculars and things like that to stand out in application. Okay, so let us deep dive into your university and course more. So
Mhm.
can you just tell me, like again, how is your year divided and how many subjects do you have in each semester?
Okay, so the year is obviously divided into first semester, second semester, and the dissertation period. But the semesters are divided into blocks.
Okay,
So one semester is made up of two blocks, and each block lasts about like 5 weeks.
okay,
Um, and we have like a reading week. Like I don't know about a lot of courses, but at least our course
even
has
me.
a week after every block.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that is pretty much about how they have structured it.
What is a block? Is it like one subject is a block?
No. So block is considered as like a time period. So for 5 weeks, what like there are some courses that run for 5 weeks for
Mm-hmm.
one block,
Mm-hmm.
or there are some courses that run for the entire semester.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like let's say like in this so right now I have my block 3
Mm-hmm.
going on, and I have like 3 to 4 subjects. So some of them are only for block 3, but
Mm-hmm.
them are going to run for the entire semester.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's another subject that will start in the fourth block. So that's going to run for those 5 weeks.
5 weeks. So when you
Mhm.
talk about like, okay, in total in one semester, including the blocks and the full-time course, like the subjects, how many subjects do you have?
Oh,
Like,
good
just
question. I think I have 5 subjects in this
five
semester.
in
Yes.
total. Okay. So, are the blocks optional or can you choose which subject you want to take for each block or is it usually assigned to you by the university itself?
So for the first semester, the courses were assigned. Obviously, they were all of the courses were compulsory.
Mm-hmm.
For the second semester, we had like 2 courses that were compulsory, but then we again had like a choice of taking 3 courses from 4.
Okay.
So
Not
I
a
mean,
big choice.
not a huge choice, obviously, but
Uh,
like you could like not take the one that you like the least, obviously.
mhm,
Yeah, so I think that is about it. Like in terms of the courses that they offer, not a lot of choice. I've seen like there are some universities that like offer a lot of choices in terms of your
mhm,
subjects. So again, like I am speaking in terms of marketing.
mhm.
Um, I have friends who are from data science, statistics with data science. And the data science people have like a lot of options.
Okay.
So if anyone's
That's
coming
worth
from data science, be
notable.
prepared for, like a whole lot of choice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair. So, in terms of like lectures, do you have lectures every day? How long? Is it very hectic? How is that?
Okay. So each subject has a class every week.
Mm-hmm.
Some subjects have workshops as well. Workshops are nothing, we just discuss maybe, or we just have guest lectures. Or if like last semester we had a subject on market research. So for the workshops for market research, we would either like discuss or work on whatever we had learned in theory, so we would apply it practically. In terms of timings, again, like every subject has a class once a week, and like most classes are like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not very hectic in the terms like you don't have classes every week. Again, depends on like your course and how the timetable is structured. For me, like my I have like for this block classes from from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Tuesdays,
Mm-hmm.
like 9 a.m. on Fridays, which gets hectic. But again, like you have a break on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays.
Yeah,
So I
that's
mean,
good. I think it's like even better to have like one day because for me, I had every day. So every day I had to go to university, come back, and especially in London, it's like But the course like the blocks, were you able to choose these timings that they were like randomly assigned to you?
no, so you can't choose timings. It depends on the courses that you take. Again, like if I would not have taken the if I would not have dropped the optional course that I did, I think I would have had a more relaxed timetable.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like it varies.
It just varies. So, and let's talk a bit more about your teaching aspect. So, of course, Edinburgh is a very research-based university, and I think a lot of theory plays a big role, more than the practicality. At least that's how it was in King's. So, let's take any subject you want to take and just tell me how is the teaching like? Like, is it mostly like a teacher comes and give presentations, or like everybody's answering in class, more interactive? So just tell me all about it.
Right. I think you got this point very aptly that the University of Edinburgh is very research based. And again, like I feel like if I knew this before coming, I think my decision might have changed. I'm not sure. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, the professors come in, they give presentations, and that is mostly about it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like the students sometimes are interactive. You are free to ask your doubts even like after class. It's not very strict in terms of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to give you an example of this course that each one of us cried while doing.
Oh, damn.
uh,
Okay.
Market research and data insights. And for the first block, for the first 5 weeks, we were doing qualitative research. And for the next 5 weeks, we were doing quantitative research. And oh my God, I can still never forget the amount of time we spent doing those assignments. I feel I'm going to add this comment that, I mean, like, marketing is not a subject that you can learn entirely by doing research. But again, if you want to do a PhD tomorrow, University of Edinburgh is a very good fit for you, because I mean, I have been equipped with all of the research skills that I need, or probably don't need.
Mhm.
And again, like, research again is a big part of marketing. I would agree with that. But again, like, for all of those who are not interested in it, in the research aspect of it, it kind of gets a bit hectic, because you don't have a choice of not taking that subject.
I
And
think
you're
this is a very important point you brought up because people need to understand that, Russell Group universities are good, but they're all very research based. So, even for marketing, like when I graduated from King's, when I got into the market, and if somebody asked me, do you know how to run LinkedIn ads? I was like, no. But I do know that this 50 years ago, some theory person said this, So that is one factor which is very important. But okay, you said the teachers come and do teach, but like in terms of like hands-on approach towards a subject like market research, of course you have to do market research. There is so many types of data collection which we have learned about. So how hands-on was it for you?
Oh gosh, I think so. We had this assignment which was just so hard. So again, like, we had workshops for that. We were required to learn SPSS software in like 5 weeks.
Don't same.
I'm so
Same
glad
girl,
somebody
same.
else relates to it. Because I remember I think the academic pressure is off the charts, obviously, right? I will hand it to the university for like balancing out with like a very supportive student development team,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because they are always there for you. And even though, I mean, obviously in UK universities don't offer like careers, like
Okay.
placements we do in India, which would be great, but they kind of equip you with all of the resources that you need to be able to get into the market. So I think that kind of balances it out. But yes, I mean, it's obviously not a walk in the park.
Definitely not. So how many students there are there in each class? Like are you like the entire class is divided into small cohorts or like everybody's just together and then it's like a one-way interaction mostly?
Right. So for marketing, we are a class of 66 people. We
Mm-hmm.
are not divided into smaller cohorts.
Mm-hmm.
All of us sit together in one lecture theater.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think that's different than Kings for now, like what I can see the difference. And I'm sorry bringing up Kings always. It's just
Oh,
like an
no,
exact comparison. That's
love
why.
to know about it actually.
But yeah, I think for us, we never had like big classes together. We already only had like maybe 25 to 30 people per this thing. But I think it has its pros and cons always. So, but a class of 67. So I've talked to some people who have like a class of like 200, 250 people who are taking lectures together. So I think a class of 67 is still very manageable and still you get like that personal attention, which I really appreciate. So do you have online lectures or everything is offline?
Everything is offline.
Mhm.
Even like the events that we mostly attend are offline. So if you just have one event in one day, you have to walk to the university.
Yeah, like I have been to Edinburgh and I saw the University of Edinburgh, which was really up that hill. So, to walk there, I can imagine, especially in the cold. But I think it's a beautiful university. So talking about your project, so you did mention like your marketing research project was more like very much SPSS and data analytics and things like that. But talking about other subjects, do you think it is like more practical again, or again, it's only theory based for you?
So the first semester was very theory based. Like, we were writing essays like left and right, day and night. I think the second semester is a bit better. Like, we do have some subjects, like, let's say we have marketing communications and we have to write a marketing brief or like a creative brief for a company, right? I feel that is good. We do have some group projects. We did have like a few group projects in the first semester as well.
Mm-hmm.
um, but I feel I think like it can be even more like fun. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like, because you come into marketing thinking like, oh my God, it's gonna be so fun. But again, like, when you're hit with essays, right? You're like, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So every like how many assignments do you have each subject?
So for most subjects, we have one assignment, maximum two. So it will either, like, if we have one assignment, it's going to be an individual assignment. If we have two, it's going to be one individual and one group.
Yeah, I think much better. I think consumer behavior, we had three assignments, which was, I think, one, I mean, so when you talk about one individual assignment, 100% of your grade is dependent on that.
Right. It
And do
is.
you have any exams?
So, speaking of consumer behavior, we did have an exam for consumer behavior, and all of us were like, what? Why do we have an exam for consumer behavior? And oh my God, it was the most hectic period because I remember going to the library, and we have like five, six floors of our main library. And A, there was no seats available. B, all of the floors looked the same with people sitting like this because they were so stressed. So,
Yeah.
oh God,
So you
it
had an
was,
in-person exam, is it?
we did. It was the scariest moment of my life.
Yeah, I think in-person exams, luckily, yeah, mine was a COVID batch, so my exams were like smooth as butter, 24-hour take at home exams. So I've never experienced that, but I think it must be daunting to learn all of those things.
I
Um,
think Devyani, for like some courses,
mhm,
there were exams, but you could take them anytime in a span of like 24 hours, I think.
mhm, mhm.
And it is within the business school. I am guessing like it was MSc HR or IHRM, I'm not
Right.
sure. But there are some courses even within the business school who like offer exams in that
So it
format.
just depends on the subject after all.
Yes.
Hmm,
Yes.
hmm. So, okay, it is hectic and everything is happening a lot. So how many hours a day do you study to like cope up with everything?
It is so embarrassing. I should be studying. I am not. It's just again like there are lectures, and again like as an international student, you just don't have to study. You have so many things to juggle, and I am working as well.
Mm-hmm.
So again, to like
Have to,
manage so many
but with
things, when you're balancing so many things, you sometimes don't find like a lot of time. But again, when there's an assignment, I can pull an all-nighter.
I think it is required, right, just to survive that
It
kind
is.
of. Um, so you mentioned you have like a part-time job and this. I'm gonna actually get to that later. But if you had to give like a realistic like an hour of like maybe okay maybe 5 hours and you're good. So what would that number be?
Every day, I think if you just come and like revise whatever lectures or like lecture notes that you've made,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good. And again, like work on your assignments for like 1 or 2 hours. I think that would be
That
that
will
would be
be
good.
more than enough.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your class and classmates in general. So you said there are 67-ish people in your class. So is it only for like MSc marketing or are there any like other, like for example, international marketing or other things, or is just one course and only 67 students doing that?
As far as I know, I think there's only one course in the marketing area,
Mhm.
and all 66 of us are doing that MSc
Right.
marketing. Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about diversity. Like how many Indians are there? Do you have people from all over or how is that like?
Okay, so mostly, obviously, students are from Asia,
Okay.
um, China, and India in particular. We have like, I said like 10 to 15 Indians. I am very socially drained. But yeah, I would say like 10 to 15 of us.
Mhm.
And we have a bunch of people from the UK as well. And yeah, like we do have people from like a lot of places: US, UK, Middle East, India, China,
There's
mostly
a
Japan.
mix. And how about the male female ratio? Because of course, marketing is a maybe like a more female driven thing. So are there more females than males, or how is it that like?
mm, I would say like it is like a good balance. Obviously, I think I see more girls now that you've said. I never thought of it, but obviously there are more females in the course, but it is well balanced, I would say.
Well balanced. Good to know. So let's talk a bit more about what, like, okay, fine, you have done a few courses in, before you came, so you know terms like, for example, below the line marketing, you talked about, what else did you say, like digital fundamental ads or whatever that is. So
Then
I just wanted to understand, if somebody who wants to study marketing, who has zero experience, like who doesn't know all the, the jargons and things like that, does Edinburgh teach everything from the basic, or you are expected to know already, like what goes around?
so again, it is a course for beginners, complete beginners, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think again, like it's just 5 weeks. Like the moment you enter university, week zero is your freshers week. Week one, you are into classes. You are handed like this assignment that you have to submit by the end of week five, and you're like, wait, what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it takes time to get accustomed to it. Your first assignment, you're going to be very scared. I was literally thinking like I have written the worst piece of essay in the history of the world. But again, like so you do take time to get accustomed to it. And yeah, I think
Edinburgh
university.
teach you how to do referencing and how to write in Harvard style? And like, did you have like a pre-course for that? Because for us, like, they did not teach us anything. It was just like, okay, here's the assignment. And my first assignment was so bad because I did not know how to reference. Like, I just did not know that exists, because we've never done that in India. So how was that for you?
Again, I think the university was very supportive in terms of that. We had like a course, like an entire session taken by our great librarian on Harvard style referencing. But no matter how much anyone tells you these things, you will mess up your first assignment and then learn about it, and then you'll get pretty accustomed to it. Because
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what referencing was. I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get into plagiarism because of this.
Yeah.
But
They teach you
um,
about plagiarism and Turnitin and things like that.
they instilled the fear of God in us for it. You're like, you will be sent back to your country. But
But
yeah,
it is real actually. Like, plagiarism is no joke in the UK.
not like I remember being in tears thinking that I might have accidentally plagiarized, even though I did not. But
Yeah.
again, the university also has resources, like we have like our in-house approved papers that are there, so we can use those. So I think that is there. Yep.
Mhm, mhm. So, what is, like, if you had to sell like your university, like what is like the one best thing you find about university? Like, it's like sets like you apart from any other university.
The career services. I
Mhm,
think the amount of events that we have, this like kudos to the student development team for organizing them. The main careers event that we had in October was so good. We had so many companies, and it's such a good networking chance. I mean, obviously, like in October, you won't be applying for jobs, right? Because they're not open. You might be looking at graduate roles, but if you're not, but again, it's such a good networking opportunity. And like literally last week we had another event by the business school. There were like 30, 40 speakers for that. So many
mhm.
events, they
Okay, right.
literally they mold you into like a good professional.
Mhm.
Like they try to make you market ready, but again, it's not like they won't feed you. You
Mhm.
will have to like work on like signing up for events and showing up actually. So
So,
it's
did
that.
they tell you about graduate schemes before, what it means, how to apply? Do they support you for that? Because Kings never told me about graduate roles, for example. So I think I missed out on a very big opportunity which I could have applied, which I did not. I had no idea about. So how was that for you?
The university again has like so many events. Like I was just going through their careers page today as well, and they had this making the most out of your masters section on their website, right? They have an entire playlist about it. So the resources are like limitless. Like I mean, you can like I think they run an event every Thursday. I don't remember what time, but
Mhm.
they run an event every Thursday where they talk about like different aspects of like like they help you tailor your CV. They check your CVs. There's like an entire like CV
Amazing.
checking website that they have. Again, I mean literally I'm handing it to them for like having such a great career service that they have.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so now can you tell me like one thing you do not like about Edinburgh and you wish that they did better?
About the university, I wish it was not that research based for the business school. I
Mm-hmm.
wish we had more like practical experiences, like in terms like let's. I'm just gonna take an example for digital marketing real quick. That we know that there are campaigns that I can run like test A and B testing, right? A/B testing, but when if somebody asks me to do it right now, I will be very hesitant because I have never done that. So I
Mm-hmm.
think like if we had like a practical on like those theoretical applications that are there, that would be great.
That would be great. So again, because you have done so many courses before in terms of marketing, what course do you think you still should have learned before starting university, which could have really helped you in your assignments or whatever it is?
I can't think of anything in particular. The good thing about the university again is that we get LinkedIn Learning.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever that I don't know, I use LinkedIn Learning. And again, like I use ChatGPT as an assistive tool
Yeah.
to understand some concepts that I might not know of. It
Mm-hmm.
is a good assistive tool. Again, like please don't use it because of plagiarism.
Yeah.
But to
But
take help, like to understand concepts, it's a good tool.
is Turnitin able to detect ChatGPT?
I don't know about that actually. I am not gonna take that risk ever.
Right, because like when I did my master's, ChatGPT did not exist. So it just now, but it feels like long ago. But 2021, we did not have ChatGPT. So I'm not sure how the plagiarism, because now the AI has changed the world in a very different way, which I don't personally do not have experience about. So have you heard any horror stories of people being caught because of plagiarism who have used ChatGPT? Because during my time, even without ChatGPT, plagiarism, people have failed because of that. So how's it for you?
I think again like the thing with ChatGPT is that as long as you're using it as an assistive tool, it's not a problem. From what I have heard from my technologically very advanced friends,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that the machine might not be able to detect it. I think they're making now new softwares that can detect like ChatGPT, but there are some online AI checker tools. Again, like the language of like GPT answers is gonna be like very, very generic, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you like the machine might not be able to identify it, but the person who's checking your assignment is a human being at the end of the day, and they will be able to like determine that. So
Yeah,
again, it's not worth the risk. You are applying like lakhs and lakhs to
100.
come here. It's just 1 year. It's just like max to max 10, 15 assignments, get done with it and like don't take any
That is
risk.
very important because people like don't understand. Like they will literally kick you out if you there. If you
I have heard horror stories not from my university, but from other universities that maybe in Scotland actually in like Stirling, I think, I'm not sure. But yeah, that they were about to kick people out.
I know
So
people who have actually like been sent back because of plagiarism. So it's a
from
very real thing. From Queen Mary, Queen's Mary.
oh,
Not from King's, but from Queen Mary. Yes. So now let's talk about Edinburgh as a city. Okay, you are living in Scotland. Been there, beautiful, but like tell me, how is it, how expensive it is? I've heard Scotland is a bit more expensive than maybe Manchester or of course Warwick, which are the universities you were applying to. So how is that?
so one thing that I did not know or like I underestimated was how much you have to walk here. You and it's not just like so in London, even if you have to walk, right, it's a very flat walk. But in Edinburgh, it's this city is literally on so many levels that you have to go up and down. Like so where I am living, it's at a very low lying area, and anywhere that I have to go, I have to climb a hill, and I'm like, okay, let it be. So I used to cry when I came here. I was like, oh my god, I can't walk, and the bus is very expensive. Like one way bus ride anywhere you go is £2, and our minds when we come here are gonna convert like pounds to
100%.
INR constantly. So like are you for like 200 rupees for like one way bus. And so yeah, that was a bit of a shocker, but the good thing is I think if you tap with the same card, it stops at like it caps at like 4.9. So
Mm-hmm.
you're not paying more than 4.9 pounds in one day for bus, like how many buses, however many buses you take.
So can you use your credit card, or do you have like a special different card for buses?
You can use a credit card. You can get like a bus pass.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like you have to pay for that, and if you're not using the bus that many times, I don't think that's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I just use my card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how about the rent? Like, are you staying at a student accommodation or a private flat, and how is that like?
So, so I was graduating in August and I had to come in September.
Mm-hmm.
And so the university accommodation is first come, first serve basis, and I applied for it as soon as it opened. But even though it's first come, first serve basis, it is when you get unconditional. And I was about to get unconditional like way late in August. So
Mm-hmm.
I was not sure if I would get the accommodation or not. So
Mm-hmm.
I booked a private accommodation, which was like 30 minutes from the university,
Mm-hmm.
so that I don't end up homeless
Like,
in Edinburgh
so
when I
how
come
did you
here.
find that? Was it easy for you to do that, or like?
Accommodation was very stressful. Again, for me, I was very lucky to get my admit in November.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, so I was out of that stress, but
So
there
you
was
got it like 1 year prior.
I did, yes. So I
Before you
applied.
even graduated, you had an offer.
I did. So I applied in August of no wait, October. I gave my IELTS in August of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
2022 actually. I'm so sorry.
Right,
2022.
2022. Uh-huh.
I graduated in August 2023. So there was a 1 year period where I was just like, I knew what I was going to do next, but I had nothing else going on for me mostly. So I was just volunteering everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
uh, but yeah, so
The majority of the students, do they stay at a private accommodation or do they stay at a student accommodation?
the thing with the University of Edinburgh is that it's there in the entire city. So
Mhm.
anywhere you go, you will find that one giant circle that says the University of Edinburgh. So it has like I am actually staying in the university's biggest student accommodation, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there are many student accommodations, but again, like there are some UG accommodations and the PG accommodations are separate. PG and PhD accommodations are separate
Mm-hmm.
together.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't know if anyone wants to live with undergrads during their postgraduate or PhD.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so some students I know of like live in private accommodations as well. Accommodations was like a very
Yeah,
hectic
but you
task.
need to be prepared and just
Yes.
apply.
I
Mm-hmm.
had an entire Excel sheet with all of the links, all of the perks, cons of
Yeah, yeah,
each
yeah.
that I was
Definitely, because the
listing.
rent, the distance from the bus, the distance from the university, so many factors come into play. But overall, you're happy at where you're staying.
I am very happy. And I think this would be a follow-up question like at a later stage. But I have like a job in the university accommodation only.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how I got this accommodation, or else I would be either in a private accommodation or I would be thrown in a I was throw actually given a university UG accommodation for some reason. So
Okay.
these things can also happen. I think if you are somebody who's coming uh, immediately after your graduation and you don't have your all of your documents together, or you don't have an unconditional offer at the right time,
Mm-hmm.
you should book like a private accommodation just to be on the safer side.
Yeah, makes sense. So talking about this part-time job, which you were right, I was coming to, how did you get this part-time job at your residence?
So somebody told me about this job that so I think this is the case with most university accommodations. They have resident assistants over here. So as a resident assistant, you are supposed to organize events, be on reception. You're literally the first point of contact for your residents. I am managing about 50 residents,
Mm-hmm.
and my accommodation has like 29 RAs.
Okay, that's a big accommodation.
It is huge. I'm telling you, like they're like it's divided into three sections, so it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, so I applied for it. I'm thinking in March. It was a tough process because we had like an application in which we had to do like a video thing as well. And for that I chose to like talk about my NGO activities. And then there was a video interview. There was an online interview,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was like a group interview kind of like. So we were given a task, and we had to do that task together.
Right. That's a long process. So I don't know
It
if you mind sharing, but like, what do you how expect to earn as a resident advisor, or what's like the pay rate?
Oh, okay. So we don't get paid particularly. So it depends on university to university as well. Like some universities give like a 50% discount to RAs, some give 75, some give 100. And ours gives like a 75% off on our accommodation.
That's
So which is
quite a
a
lot.
huge help. It
Yeah,
is
damn. That's
yeah.
amazing. That's I think I sometimes wish I should have come now. Like I learned so many things from everyone. I think that's pretty amazing. But otherwise, like I don't know, like in general, to find a part-time job for any student, is it hard? Is it easy? What do you recommend for that?
I mean, if you compare it with London, it's obviously a bit hard, I believe, because there are like Edinburgh again, at the end of the day, is a small city. And I think you asked this question about expenses as well. It is a bit costly. Taxes in Scotland are more in comparison to England. But again, I feel like at the end of the day, like I mean, some of my friends are working in F&B, and so it again it depends on you as well. Like the university is offering like a lot of career events. As an international student, it's obviously hard because most people like don't want to hire part time, especially in your like own field.
Mm-hmm.
It will be tough. But again, you have to be like patient with it, like being at the right place at the right time. Again, like I feel whatever in
Just
your destiny, you
be
will get it.
ready. And in terms of your CV, like, did you have like a different CV in terms of, is it different compared to India, or have you like, does the university tell you how to go about that?
Mhm. So I had to alter my entire CV. I made like a one-page CV. I literally went to the career services so many times. I'm like, can you check it again? Can you check it again? Can you check it again? I had to edit it so many times.
Mm-hmm.
To finally get it right. I don't know if I still have gotten it like to perfection because I'm yet to apply for jobs. I have not applied for graduate roles.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. I mean, I won't know until I get like an interview or maybe like a
Yeah.
proper job.
You're still quite early on in that sense that, okay, for a full-time job, you might have a bit of time. In your final semester, like, do you have an option for a dissertation, or is that the only choice you have?
So we have been told that dissertation is like the research that you do is the only choice that you have. But I know there are some spaces for like a business project that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Again, like there are pros and cons to that. I mean, before coming to Edinburgh, I was really keen on doing a business project.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that is why I was very hesitant towards Edinburgh because it did not offer like
A business.
like collaboration exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they do have some spaces for it. But again, the pros and cons are there. Like you might not be able to work on something of your own choice. You have to um, do the deliverables for the client.
Mm-hmm.
So that is there. But I think like I mean, yeah, it's a good thing to have a choice.
Yeah, that's good. We did not have a choice. I think at least having a choice is very helpful in that sense. Okay, very last few questions. But in future, like, do you like Scotland? Would you like to stay here, or your plans are to go back to India? And because of course, listening to what the horror stories are happening, like, so many people from my batch still don't have jobs. So the especially in marketing, the market is really competitive. So realistically, like, what are your expectations post graduation?
So I do like Scotland. It's beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
but I am from Gurgaon. I am not used to this calm. Okay, I'll tell you, the air is so clean, the water is so clean, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
But as an international student, this baggage of loneliness also comes along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there, I mean, you are literally building your life from scratch, packing your whole life into suitcases, coming here, building it from scratch, building new friends, making new friends. But again, it is like a tough journey. I'm not sure if I want to go back to India immediately. Ultimately, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but immediately I don't think so, because I also have like a student loan that I have to. So until I get the ROI, I can't say.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, just that's the thing. But just to like again, you have to really start applying, and apply to like every place possible before you get. So for everybody who's studying marketing, just have that heads up. So just to conclude everything, do you think your expectations overall have met your reality? And overall, are you happy with the decision to come to the UK and do your masters in marketing here?
So, I think I believe in like destiny a lot. So this was my destiny. Like I was supposed to be here for at least this year,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's again no point in complaining. Obviously, um, maybe I had much more expectations in terms of the practicality of of the subject.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but um yeah, I'm happy. It's a very very good learning experience. Like I swear, like I would not even lift a finger to like get a glass of water at home, and over here I am doing everything on my own, so my mother's very happy.
I
But
think
I'm
definitely living on your own really enables you to be more independent and learn so many things which you have never imagined. Like even like small things like, buying milk, which you realize was such a luxury back home. Which when you feel like having coffee, you have to go to your store yourself. So I think that is a big learning. And with the very last question is somebody who wants to come to Edinburgh or wants to apply to the UK, what is one best piece of advice you can give to students?
um I would say keep a very holistic profile, and again it's about stepping out of your comfort zone. So don't be afraid to do that, and don't be afraid to be alone. It is okay, it is a part and parcel of life. Like you will maybe find your tribe, you maybe not, you may not, but it is okay, you will be okay, you will survive. And
Mm-hmm.
again, while applying, keep your options open. Don't just fixate on the rankings or the numbers. Keep your options and mind open.
Mm-hmm. I think you have been extremely insightful, Mehak. I think I personally have learned so much about University of Edinburgh and your journey here. So thank you so much for coming on my channel and sharing your experiences. So before I conclude, I just want to ask if I share your LinkedIn over here, like, do you mind if people reach out to you if they have any questions?
Absolutely not. In fact, I was about to ask you that as well. Like, so anyone who wants to ask anything or has any doubts, please feel free to like text me on LinkedIn, and I'll.
So I'm adding the, LinkedIn profile in the description box below with the course and name of Mehak. You can reach out to her. But again, thank you so much, Mehak, for being here and for sharing experiences.
Thank you so much for having me, Divyani. Thank you.
So, in the video, Mehak did mention that finding an accommodation was hard, but it doesn't have to be. You have to check out Amber Student, which is Southeast Asia's largest student accommodation provider. So, I've added the link in the description box below. All you have to do is click on it, and it will take you to the landing page where you have to fill in your name of your university, phone number, and all of these details. And somebody from Amber Student will contact you. So, basically, this entire service of application and finding the right accommodation is free. So they will cater to all of your needs, like if you want an ensuite, like whatever, like the floor and everything you need to know. So there are so many options. So make sure you click on the link below and register as soon as possible to get the best accommodations at the best rate. Thank you.